Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Ready Tape. But today on Good Morning Nation, we're gonna have a great segment, man. I'm telling you, it's 8:45 Pacific Standard Time. Y'all know what it is. We're on the West Coast. Shout out to everybody on the East Coast. I know it's a little bit later, but in today's segment, in today's live, we're going to be getting at a trade that had just transpired this morning. We're going to have to touch on that subject as well. Also, this week is going to be a little bit different for the Raiders and our football team because we're going to have a more intense practice going into this week's matchup. Yes, we have 3-0 Raiders going into a matchup against the Patriots this weekend, so we'll definitely have to touch on that as well. But I want to go ahead and get this morning started by shouting out all the subscribers, everybody that has been pulling up, everybody in the comment section, and I hope everybody starts their week great. Have a good day today, man. Make sure you start it right, hydrate, and go out there and get a little bit of exercise in, all right? Let's go ahead and jump into the comments, though. I want to give everybody a shout out that is pulling up and give a little bit of time for things to kick off. But first things first, y'all. The Raiders defeat the Dolphins. Go out there, whip their ass. I didn't really expect anything other for us to win. Let's be honest, man. It was a McDaniels on McDaniels crime, and we definitely went out there and handled business. We're not going to touch on the Dolphins too much in today's episode because we have a lot to talk about. But shout out to everybody in the comments. I'm about to jump into the chat real quick, and if you guys can, give me the thumbs up. Make sure y'all give me a thumbs up. Let me know that the mic is good and that the camera is good. Make sure the technicals is all right. Shout out to everybody. Maybe I need to get a producer, but I'm my own producer, man. All in one. Call me J. Cole, bro. All right. Shout out to Vinny that pulled up on us super early, man. Shout out to Vinny. He says, good morning, nation. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Good morning to everybody in the chat. If you guys can, give Vinny a good morning. Give each other a good morning because I know you guys see familiar faces in the chat. And if you see a familiar face in the chat, that's your fellow Raider Nation family right there. So give everybody in the chat a what's up. Not only me, but everybody you see in the chat, man. Raider for life. We traded Mullens. Yes, sir. We're going to hop into that just here shortly because I know a lot of people like Mullens over Stidham. So I'm curious to see the people that like the Mullens over Stidham, what they have to say about that. SVT, everybody give SVT a shout out, man. He said he passed his exam, so I get to watch without having to study this time. Shout out to you, brother, because passing that exam, I'm sure it was stressful. And having to study, man, having to study and watch the Raiders game or just in general having to study and watch anything is a pain in the ass. So shout out to you for passing that exam, brother. Appreciate you pulling up on us still. I hope you have more free time so maybe we can link up. Maybe we can hop on the game, bro. Shout out to SVT, y'all. Digital Prez in the building. Shout out to Digital Prez as well. Says, what it do, Cousin Ray? Shout out to the cuz Digi Prez. Me and Digital Prez got a link up one time. If you ever want me to pull up, man, or do a video, a collab, and go on your channel, Digital Prez, just hit me up. Make sure you guys go follow him as well. He has very good production, man. Shout out to Digital Prez. Dangerfield in the building was good with you. Always love to see Dangerfield pull up on us. An OG right there. Eminem in the building. Good morning to you, Raider, and the rest of the Raider family. You know what it is, brother. Shout out to you, your family, Caleb. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Khalil King is with us as well. He says, good morning to all my Raiders brothers and sisters. Hope everyone is having a real positive day. Let's all get that money. Exactly. Shout out to Khalil King for dropping a super good comment, man. Make sure y'all go get your money. If y'all on your way to school, go get your education. On the way to work, get your money. And if you're going to the gym or if you're just chilling, go ahead and soak it in and relax. Go ahead and hit the gym and get that pump because we all got to continue being healthy, man. Health is wealth around here. And over here on Ready to Take, man, we want to do is push positivity. Shout out and salute to the OG Andy in the building. He said salute to the nation. Neek is in the building. Shout out to Dominique 5. Always showing love. Was good with you, brother. I'm glad you're here, able to be with us. EJ is in the building as well. Was good with you, man. Was good. We're just getting a few shout outs in. So if you guys are just joining us now, we are just getting things cracking off, man. Omar's in the building. We see a lot of people in the chat right now. Shout out to you, Omar, as well. Keith Brown. What's good, Ray? What's going on with our defensive line? Jenkins getting hurt after the first play. That is another topic we're going to have to talk about as well, man. Thank you for bringing that up. I actually slipped my mind, Keith Brown, and make sure to remind me. I want to give a few more shout-outs before we really hop into this thing because I see a lot of people out here. Desert Raider is in the building. Bo Frazier is in the building. Shout out to everybody. I see you, Zebra3 in the building. He says, my man, Ray, how's it going? How's it going, Z? I hope you're having a great morning, brother. We're 3-0. Let me see if I could adjust this real quick. It seems kind of bright. See if I could turn this down just a little bit. No, that's not turning down. It's all right. It's all good. I'm looking a little bit more light-skinned than usual, but that's all right. Dark Atheist in the building. Good morning to you, brother. Appreciate you being up here with us. Ricardo, what's good with you, man? He says happy Monday, and it's Monday. Monday's my favorite day of the day because what does that mean? That means it's back to getting that money. So let's get it, y'all. The nation's own is in the building. What's good with you, man? Appreciate you pulling up. I'm glad to see you out here with us. It is a little early, and it is the morning show. And you guys know I do the morning show every Monday at around 8:45 or 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So I appreciate y'all being here with us today. We're only 5 minutes in and got over 100 people in the chat. So it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show. I have a great feeling. We in the building, Ray. What it do? Shout out to Curtis Williams, C Dub in the building. What's cracking, man? Webb got robbed of a TD. That's another topic we'll have to get into. I see a lot of thumbs up giving me the technicals are good. So let's go ahead and hop into this week's Good Morning Nation, man. First things first that I want to talk about. Man. The Nick Mullens trade. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, all right? Let me see this. Let's address the elephant in the room. First things first, guys. What do you guys think about the Mullens trade? That's the first thing I want to start off with. First things first is Mullens trade goes to the Vikings for a 7th-round pick. And you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while now, that I was actually favoring Jarrett Stidham to make this team. A lot of people kind of doubted the fact Stidham would make it, especially after last week's performance. After last week's performance, some people felt that he didn't really go out there and be decisive. He was really indecisive, and he didn't pull the trigger on a lot of plays where there would be an open receiver. And some people felt that Stidham definitely didn't live up to the expectations of, one, being traded for, two, being the favor of knowing this playbook, working with Josh McDaniels prior to coming to the Raiders, and he should actually have a step forward than all the other quarterbacks. And I know some people were disappointed with his performance last week, but it was hard for me to see us get rid of Stidham after we traded for him. Josh McDaniels is familiar with him, and he knows this offense. So personally, I thought that Stidham was definitely going to stay. I didn't see him going anywhere. And today it comes to fruition. We find out Mullens gets traded to the Vikings for a 7th-round pick. Someone let me know if it's a 7th-round pick or if it's a conditional 7th-round pick. Now, that depends because I believe the stipulations is if Mullens plays so many snaps or if he plays so much, whatever the case may be, so late in the season, then that pick may not be a 7th-round pick or it may become a higher pick. Someone can clarify that in the chat for me, I'm sure, but I believe that is how it works. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hop into the comments because I want to know what you guys think about this trade. If you guys actually liked Mullens more, let me know that in the comments and put down on why you guys like Mullens more. If you guys like this trade, go ahead and give a thumbs up because the reason I would say I like this trade, whether you like Mullens or not, or whether you like Stidham or not, is the fact that we went out and we got compensations for him. We seen Tyree Gillespie get traded. When was this? When Tyree Gillespie get traded? Probably 3-4 days ago. Was it 3-4 days ago? I'm not 100% sure. But you think about it, that would have potentially been a guy that we just released. Now, what do? We go out there and we find a trade partner to let Tyree Gillespie go to. And then today we find out that Nick Mullens gets traded as well. So this regime at least is letting guys be let go for a pick, for some type of compensation, and we're just not letting guys go rolling off the roster. So that's a very smart plays by the regime, continuing to look good as we move forward, not making any goofy decisions. But let's go ahead and hop into the comments. I want to know what you guys think about this here move by Dave Ziegler. And first things first, man, shout out to Eminem. If you guys want to become a member, longtime member, and Mike Morris here as well, all you got to do is hit that join button. It supports the channel a lot, man. I appreciate y'all being here. He says, I like the Mullens over Stidham just for the fact he's actually won NFL games. Now, that's a very good point, man. Mullens does have a lot more of that experience. Mullens actually torched us. He beat the dog crap out of us when we played him, when we had to go up against the 49ers. And unfortunately, that's a terrible memory. And because of that, I feel like Raider fans know his skill set. He went out there and he torched us. Let's not forget. So I agree, Mike Morris, with that. That's a very good point. But with that being said, did you still see Mullens making it over Stidham? Now, is it because that's your opinion, you liked Mullens over Stidham, or did you really think that Mullens would have stayed on this roster over Stidham after we traded for Stidham and everything that comes along with him knowing this offense? It's a conditional pick, 7th round. I think Stidham is going to be better than Mullens. We're going to definitely find out. We're going to definitely find out. William Merchant in the building. Shout out to you, brother. He says, if we see Stidham, Mullen on the field for an extended period of time, this season over anyway, so the trade decision don't matter. Yeah, exactly. I do hear that. But I wouldn't go as far as saying the trade doesn't matter. I wouldn't go as far as saying that because think about last year when Derek Carr got hurt. Derek Carr only went down for, I believe, 3 quarters. Didn't he get hurt in the very first quarter against the Chargers? And we end up losing the game. Or that wasn't last year, was it? Or was it the year before? We end up losing that game. The backup quarterback comes in Marcus Mariota, and we end up losing. So I want to say it doesn't matter because if we have a quarterback that's competent and that's able to carry this offense and allow us to be in a position to still win, then that is something we need. We can't really say it doesn't matter because Derek Carr, although Derek Carr is very tough, there might be times where he comes out of the game and we need somebody competent enough to go in there and make something happen. And if Stidham shows that he is going to be indecisive, hesitant, and not being able to pull the trigger when it comes to throwing it to the open receiver, then it's going to be very tough for us to move forward. And I think that's what some people on the other side that like Mullens more are kind of afraid of when it comes to Stidham, which I agree. But this last week, I think he showed that he could be able to pull the trigger this last week against the Dolphins. Big Mike Rader says, I thought Mullens was a little bit more polished as a pocket passer than Stidham, but I'm still good with the trade. That's a good analysis, man. And I agree because Stidham can move a lot more. We've seen him trying to scramble and run for a touchdown, and he did it twice. And with Mullens, he was able to sit in the pocket. And if you remember, he was able to drop a dime on Tyron Johnson. Tyron Johnson just so happened to drop the pass. But Nick Mullens stood in the pocket, took a lick, lets the ball go, and drops the dime to T. Billy, and T. Billy just drops it. And I think – and I don't know if Mullens even had a fair case to even make the team. I don't think Mullens had a fair case, to be honest. Ruben Russ said, did Abram play good? Didn't see the first half. Abram did. We'll get into that here shortly. Abram did play, though. He definitely did play. Shout out to everybody in the chat, though, man. We're almost 200 people deep. If you guys can, make sure to rate that like button. Go make a play. Hit the subscribe button if you guys are new here. Appreciate everybody pulling up. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments of the Mullens trade. Dorta out here. Jose out here acting spicy as usual. Anish is in the building. He says, what's more reliable, Stidham or Tyron Johnson's hands? That's a very interesting question, man. Anish says, what's more reliable, Stidham or Tyron Johnson's hands? Now, I believe that Tyron Johnson's hands are more reliable. I am going to be doing a film study on Tyron Johnson here soon on my other YouTube channel that I created doing film studies. And one thing that I noticed, okay, Tyron Johnson, when he was with the Chargers in 2020, he was blowing it up. I mean, we seen him moss Abram. He scored a touchdown against us when we had to play against Tyron Johnson in 2020. He was on the Chargers. And an interesting fact, he's had 30 receptions, I believe, and 0 drops. So Tyron Johnson has, outside of this preseason to where we seen him drop that deep ball, he has 0 drops. Now, you can go look it up and verify that if you want to, but I was looking at the statistics yesterday before I do the film study, and yes, from what I believe, he has 0 drops in his career, Tyron Johnson. And personally, I was actually on that wave of, does Tyron Johnson have consistent hands? And I believe he does. I think we only seen him drop 1 ball, really, but there was another ball I feel like he could have definitely got that he kind of had a slide for. It was low, but I still think he could have caught that one. JB says, Stidham told the press not to walk on the shield in the locker room, not if Mullens showed that respect. Well, that is an unspoken rule in the locker room. If you guys didn't know, you're not allowed to walk on the shield or I wouldn't say, or there would be disciplinary action. You could say that. A Seattle Raiders fan says, I hope we can get a pick for Amik. I don't think he makes the team. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a pick for Amik, guys. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. That would be the smart thing to do that we've been kind of doing with Tyree Gillespie we've seen with and Nick Mullens as well. So I don't know about that. Digital Press says, what I believe is that Stidham stood because this is a guy that is familiar with Ziegler and McDaniels. 100% agree. I think the same thing. This indicated that they wanted to continue with his development since Mac Jones overshadowed him. That's a very good point, man. I believe that's the same thing, man. He has the chemistry with the coaching staff. We traded for him, and he just had the favoritism. Let's be honest. He had that favoritism that he was going to stick around, and that's why I ultimately, in my opinion, thought he was going to be chosen over Mullens. But, no hard-felt things going on here, man. SVT says he was never going to make the roster, so we got something from him. Exactly. I agree 100%, man. Khalil King in the building. Shout out to you. He says, yeah, I feel cool about trading Mullens. We don't want any of our backups playing anyways, and we never know what seventh rounder could turn into a Hall of Famer. Not likely, but who knows? It's just the fact that we went and got compensation, right, Khalil? It was just the fact that we got compensation. We're just not letting guys go and just cutting them. We're seeing if we can get a trade partner. And it's interesting because we played the Vikings, right? We played the Vikings. And Mullens was actually the one that went out there and torched the Vikings. He had a very good performance. Stidham had a poor performance against the Vikings. Mullens had a good one. And it's interesting because they go out and they trade for Mullens. And now Mullens will potentially be the quarterback too with the Vikings. So if anything, the Raiders kind of did him somewhat of a favor trading him because now he doesn't really have to compete. I don't think Mullens, you guys let me know. We watched the Vikings, right? Kellen Mond, and I don't even know who the other damn quarterback was on the Vikings, but Kellen Mond and that other random guy that was at quarterback, or Mullens, they just got themselves a great quarterback, man. They just got themselves a great quarterback for a 7th round pick, and that's going to be their backup. And it's kind of like what Mike Moore said earlier in the chat. He said Mullens has won NFL games in this league. What else do the Vikings want out of a backup quarterback? So the Vikings definitely got a guy that they could depend on as a backup, especially if we're considering making him – I didn't even see my chat. What the hell? Especially if we're considering making him a QB too as well. So the Vikings got a good player out of him, and we got compensation for someone we would have cut anyways. So I think it's a win-win on both sides, the Raiders and the Vikings. Shout out to the Raider, man. He says, where do you get that hat, though? If all you got to do is, I believe if you look under the video, brother, you can see the hats right there. And just check them out, man. Check them out. Shout out to Redemption Brand. If y'all ain't know, you can check out Redemption Brand. It is you could say merch, but I like to call it my clothing brand because it's completely different from my YouTube. I'm just trying to put on for Raider Nation something clean. Y'all can go check out Redemption Brand if you want to check that out. But Big Mike says, yeah, he'll easily take over QB2 over Mond and Mannion. That was his name. Thank you. Shout out to Big Mike for helping me clarify that. Mannion is his name, I guess. Ready for life. Kellen Mond looked better than Mullens. Oh, hell no. No. I don't think Kellen Mond looked better than Mullens, bro. There's no way you could say that. There's no way. They did right by Mullen. Good trade, decent return. All hell, death. Darth Z. Hell yeah. Darth Ziegler. Hey, that's dope, man. Darth Ziegler. Hell yeah. I think it was a win-win on both sides. Shout out to Sunday Threads, Ray's second channel. Shout out to Digital Press for putting that down, man. No free shout-outs, huh? This NFL app subscription is complete trash. Bro, SVT, tell me about it, dog. So I'm sitting there getting ready to watch the game. So I hop on NFL Network. And as I click on the damn game, the Raiders versus the Dolphins, that mother effer want to just sit there and then black out, and then it'll switch. And then it switched to the Buccaneers and who was playing? The Buccaneers and somebody else. I'm like, bro, I got to get rid of this NFL Network, dog, or NFL app because that shit is garbo, man. I'm telling you. The NFL app is garbo. They make you pay. I don't even know how much I paid for it. $75, dog. How much is the NFL app? I believe I paid like $75, man. And that's too much. Shout out to Raider Nightmare 916. He says another sack town in the house. Shout out to you, brother, for being here. Edgar V is in the building too. What up with it, bro? Jacob Cruz, what's good with you, man? Trying to go back, give a couple more shout outs. What's good with it, LV? LV in the house. Jody 510. Top of the morning to you folks. Top of the morning, man. Go get that bread. I see you with them crazy looking Frenchies and them bullies, them bulldogs. Let's get it. Let's get it. Alan D said no picture. I'm not sure what that means. No picture. What does that mean? No picture. Can y'all see me? Is everything all good? Is it all good? Let me know. Someone says Sane kept switching to other. Oh, okay. You're talking about the NFL app? Okay, most definitely. I thought we had technical difficulties. But look, let's get back to it, man. The Nation said VPN and NFL Game Pass International is the way to go, bro. So apparently to the Nation, we gotta take care of our VPN. We got to switch that up, change our location on the internet. I think that's what the VPN is, right? And then get the NFL Game Pass International. That's different, dog. That's different. You scheming for real. Shout out to the Nation for dropping that knowledge, man. If anybody trying to scheme up with your VPN and get NFL Game Pass International. Okay. Now, the next topic I definitely wanted to talk about, guys. Shout out to Anish for letting me know I'm good. I thought somebody said the screen was messed up, but I think we're good. But next topic I wanted to talk about is the offensive line, guys. Let me know down in the comments right now what you guys think about the offensive line and what do you guys think is going to happen at the right tackle position? Do you guys think it is too late to bring in a free agent right tackle? Now, I know it's never too late to do anything, but just the simple fact that we've waited this long to figure out who our right tackle is. Alex Leatherwood got his ass whooped. He was getting killed on the perimeter. He was a turnstile, dog. And this is what I was waiting for to play the Dolphins, to actually see the competition, to actually see what we have in this offensive line. But because, let's be honest, we haven't played anybody that's been really that good on the edge to go up against Alex Leatherwood. He had to play against Arden Key, dog. Arden Key? Really? Arden Key is not a good enough competition for us to evaluate our right tackle, especially when we're going into a damn division with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa on the same team. Look. Let me see what y'all saying. Move Leatherwood to guard. Silver and Black 831 says move Leatherwood to guard ASAP. Now, I don't know if that would even be worth it because let's think about it like this, man. Would you rather have Alex Leatherwood at guard, Lester Carr at guard, or Jermaine Illuminor? I think that's what it comes down to. And I don't think Alex Leatherwood is beating out anybody right now. I feel like Alex Leatherwood's confidence is shot. Especially after this past week, dog. His confidence is shot after this past week. He comes out of the game. Illuminor takes over, goes out there and shows that, look, it doesn't have to look that bad, Leatherwood. Leatherwood comes back in and continues to struggle. So I think Leatherwood's his number is not going to be called, and he's going to be on the sidelines, man. Raider KO says, can we get a right tackle finally? Shit. I mean, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Everett Lee in the building. Shout out to you. Good morning. Shout out to SoCal. I see you in here, folks. Dofu, dog. Yes, Dofu was what I was using, Raider Des. That was definitely what I was doing. Dominique Fox says, I have no confidence in this offensive line. I definitely agree with I don't know if I agree 100%, but I would say we are struggling in the offensive line room. Still. It's unbelievable that we're still having struggles on the offensive line. Mumford, right tackle, Green says, I want to see a lot more from Mumford. And it's interesting because I would have really liked to see Mumford go out there and get some snaps against Jalen Phillips. Now, is Mumford dealing with injury still? Someone let me know down in the comments, or if you guys can find out, is Mumford dealing with any type of injuries? Because I would have really liked to see him go out there and line up against Jalen Phillips, because that was some good competition. I mean, he was whooping Alex Leatherwood. Why not give Mumford a chance in that situation? KO says, I predict Illuminor will be the right tackle. And I agree 100%. This is kind of where I was going with this topic, is that Illuminor is ultimately going to be the right tackle. I think it's going to be him because One, he's been working his ass off all offseason from what we've been hearing. But not only that, he goes out there and he plays left tackle and right tackle is showing a lot of competence. Not only that, he knows the system and he knows this coaching staff. That's another thing that we have to take consideration. Stidham is in the same boat as Illuminor. These guys know them, and not to change positions or the topic, but you think about a guy like Tashawn Bowser on the defensive side of the ball. He knows this team. He knows this coaching staff. They're familiar with him being with the Patriots. And he may be another name that might end up sticking around on this roster and Tashawn Bowser. So I think them being familiar with his coaching staff, with this new regime is going to help them stick around, especially with Tashawn Bowser. Jordan Jenkins goes down with an injury. We'll touch on this subject a little bit later in the show, but he goes down with the injury. So our depth at the edge position continues to struggle. We'll talk on that in a little bit, but definitely Illuminor looks like the guy that's going to be at right tackle. He says, you think Illuminor can be decent at right tackle? I definitely do. We seen him last year play right tackle. Does anybody recall any moment to where you were upset with Illuminor being at right tackle? Let me know that in the comments, because we definitely had him at right tackle last year before he got pulled for Brandon Parker. Let me know what you guys think. He says, O-line is looking trash on the right side. 100%, man. It has always been looking trash. This entire offseason has been looking trash. Willie Wayne says VIP box. Okay, for the streams, VIP box, TV, something to look at. OG is in the building. He says, our O-line looks like the land of misfit. OG with the jokes, man. OG with the jokes. Mike Moore says Leatherwood is a guard. He can't play right tackle. He can't. I'm sorry. I think he's done. I don't think he's built for a tackle because, one, it looks like his arms are short. Two, he is not fast enough to get to the perimeter, guys. He's not fast enough to get to the perimeter. You see him try to jump set a defensive end in Jalen Phillips, and he's still reaching. He's out there reaching. Like, he's literally leaning and reaching for the defensive end because he can't get to the spot. He's not fast enough. He's just not fast enough, guys. And I don't think we'll ever see him go out there and play right tackle again. I just don't think we will, to be honest. Leatherwood is going to get Carr killed. Yeah, no, he won't, because he ain't going to be out there. I do not think Leatherwood's going to be out there anymore. I feel Jermaine should be our starter. Czarface says, shout out to Czarface. Most definitely, bro. Most definitely. I 100% agree. Arden Key is trash. That's a take right there that we got to talk about. Leatherwood is a project in the process. Leatherwood you could say he's a project, but he's just getting killed. And I don't think it's so much of. I don't really think it's. I don't know what it is with Leatherwood. I don't think it's the coaching anymore at this point. I think it's Leatherwood. I think it's just strictly Leatherwood and his technique, and he's just not that good at tackle. Some people just aren't good at tackle, and I'm not seeing any flashes. I'm not seeing any signs, and it looks like he really has guard written all over him. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just keep him at guard or go out there and put him there. KL says Illuminor at right tackle and Cotton at right guard. 100% agree with that. I think that's what we're going to end up ruling out with. One thing I would say is that Cotton looked like Cotton was dealing with some things up against the Dolphins. He didn't look like his best. He didn't look like he did the rest of the preseason games. Cotton was being attacked in the Dolphins game, and he showed some weaknesses. He showed some signs of weakness, and we definitely have to go back and look at Cotton's tape whenever that is accessible. I'm going to have to bring that to you guys because I think Cotton is someone to keep an eye out for, just in case he starts to slip up. But he has actually had the best blocking grade, I believe, in Cotton. He's had the best blocking grade in the entire preseason. He's been one of the best offensive linemen in the whole preseason. So, I'm not going to knock him yet. Raider Red Lizette says, we need to bring someone in. I'm scared for a car. Yeah, I'm just thinking, who would we bring in? Now, you can go out there and get like a Darrell Williams, I believe, that a lot of people want to go get. He was versatile. He played guard and right tackle last year for the Bills, and it wasn't really it wasn't really anything set in stone. He'd go out there and play tackle for 2 games, then go to guard for 3, go back to tackle for a couple games. So he's a versatile offensive lineman in Darrell Williams, 100%. EJ says, I was upset they kept playing Parker over Illuminor. Are you talking about in that first matchup against the Jaguars? Oh, you're talking about last year. 100%, bro. 100%. I don't know why. I think that was a Tom Cable thing. I think Tom Cable was being very biased. And this, again, this is another thing that we were kind of seeing here with this regime is I want to say they're being completely biased because Parker still got a lot of burn in this preseason on that left side against the Jags. But it's the simple fact that Illuminor is out there playing right tackle now. And he was getting shunned by last year's coaching staff. He was not out there playing with last year's coaching staff. They didn't have him out there, so it was interesting. Mike Moore says, I remember being mad they took Illuminor out last year. That was Cable's doing, I think. 100%, dog. I'm telling y'all. We know what it is, dude. We know 100% what it is. Mo Dizzle, his jump set is not deep enough and always plays with bad leverage. Yes, he does. It's not – he cannot get out to the perimeter. He cannot get out there. The only way Leatherwood makes the team is because he is owed first-round money. And I agree. He will make the team. One thing is he will make the team. Leatherwood will make the team because he's not that bad to where you can't have him as a number 2 guard or a number 2 tackle. Maybe even a starting guard on some teams, but he's not someone we would cut. There's no way we would release him. If anybody says that, tell them they're tripping. Mo Dizzle said, do y'all remember when Gruden was all excited about Leatherwood having a longer wingspan than he is tall? He was always trying to gaslight us as fans. It was a bad pick. And, you know, a lot of us predicted the simple fact that Leatherwood wasn't the guy at pick 19 in last year's draft. Yeah, it was last year's draft, pick 19, I believe. A lot of us wanted to go with Christian Barmore, Trevon Merrick, almost anybody, you know. Who was the guy? Was it Christian Darrisaw, I believe, that was available? And I was like, dude, how did we not take Christian freaking Darrisaw, who is a proven right tackle, over Alex Leatherwood? And I believe that's Tom Cable's doing. I honestly believe that was Tom Cable's doing, but we'll see what happens. I think CNG got the all-22 raid for the Dolphins game. He definitely does. I seen him pop out with the Jermaine Illuminor. If you guys haven't checked that out, the film study on Jermaine Illuminor is out now on Las Vegas Raiders Network by CNG. So if you guys want to check that out, go run over there and see how that's looking. That's going to be fire. But look, we're about halfway through the show, guys. If you guys can, make sure to hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, rate the like button, make a play, hit the sub button if you guys are new here. We're just getting started, man. We're just getting started. We're about halfway through. Shout out to Berserk for pulling up on us. He said, yo, Raid, imagine how much points we would have been up if Leatherwood wasn't looking like dog water on the field. He was getting manhandled. I can't watch. I'm more confident in Munford and Illuminor. And this is a good take, man, because at this point, I think this is where we're going to end the take on Leatherwood. But at this point, Leatherwood is just shot. His confidence is shot. I think his mental is out of the door. It started, I believe, last week when we were questioning his starting position, when we started rotating in Munford, and you heard him at the press conference. I think that's where it all started, man. So we'll see what happens moving forward as he continues to progress in the back, in the behind the scenes, I guess I should say, because I don't believe he'll be the starter. Jordan once said, can we get some more likes? Can we get some more likes? How many likes we at, y'all? Let me know how many likes we at. Go ahead and comment down below how many likes we're at. How many likes should we have? We're over 250 people. We should have over 250 likes, y'all. Let's see if we can get them likes up to 250, guys. That'll be fire. But let's go on to the next topic. Let's go on to the next topic of discussion. Good morning to you too, brother. G-Town is in the building. Shout out to you. MG is in the building. Guerrero, what's good? He said, salute, great. Have a blessed day. You as well, my guy. You as well. Brother Keith said that was Arnett. No, Arnett was picked not last year. Arnett was picked several years ago. Any thoughts on the linebacker Tay Davis we just picked up? So we did sign a linebacker in Tay Davis, which I'm not very familiar with. I'm not 100% familiar with Tay Davis, the linebacker. Now, I don't think Tay Davis is going to be somebody that we're going to sit here depend a lot on. But let's go ahead and hop into some things real quick. Let's go ahead and hop into some things and do a quick overview of Tay Davis, the linebacker that we just signed. Shout out to Alan D for bringing this up because they actually did slip my mind. And I do want to share a couple of things with him and learn about who we just picked up with you guys. So if you guys can bear with me, let me go ahead and pull this up. And let's see, what do we have in linebacker Tay Davis that the Raiders just picked up? Now, he's 6'1", 224 pounds, so he's a little bit smaller linebacker, that's for sure. 5 years in the league, 26 years old. Not too much on him, excuse me, let me go back. How do we get back to the stats? Let's go to the stats. Do we have anything interesting here? Now, we have the New York Giants, his rookie season for 2 years with the Giants, 2 years with the Cleveland Browns. And out of that, he started 5 games. So his rookie season, he started 4 games. Ever since, it kind of tailored off. And it looks like he's been a depth piece for teams at this point in his career. So that's pretty much all we know about Tate Davis. It looks like it's just another depth piece, a camp body, if I could say. I don't know if he's going to be able to come in and take over anybody's spot. And it's unfortunate because, just to touch on this topic, Jordan Jenkins injuries. How do you guys feel about the Jordan Jenkins injury? So here we are. We got the Jordan Jenkins injury going on. And he was a very crucial depth piece to this team, in my opinion. He was a crucial depth piece to this team because I feel like he would have very well been that number 4 pass rusher outside of Crosby, Chandler Jones, and Malcolm Kuntz. Now that he's gone, who is that number 4 pass rusher? I see Czarface in the comments. He says Kuntz over Jenkins 100%, but I don't think that's the concern here, Czarface. I think we need to look a little bit deeper into the situation, into the depth, because yes, you have Kuntz, but all it will take is one injury. We have to realize that Chandler Jones, we didn't just draft him, and he's a young guy coming in that's a freaking elite superstar. Chandler Jones is, how old is he? 32 years old? Chandler Jones is 32 years old. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. He was born in 90. So, yeah, he's 32 years old. We have a 32-year-old edge defender, 33, according to Anish, that we're depending on, that we're wholeheartedly depending on for the entire season. We're depending on Chandler Jones to go out there and line up with Max Crosby. Now, I don't think this is going to happen because you think about Max Crosby. Max Crosby plays a lot more than other players. I don't think people realize that. Max Crosby is a beast of his own. He plays nearly all the defensive snaps. Now, you look at Chandler Jones, I can see him taking about 600 snaps, about 600 snaps. So that's a third less than what Max Crosby would be playing. And I think Malcolm Kuntz will get a lot of that burn, but we need a fourth defensive end, a fourth edge defender that's going to come in and rotate. Last year, we had a plethora of edge defenders. We had Max Crosby, Cleveland Farrell, Nassib, I'm drawing a blank, Yannick Ngakoue. Those are 4 top edge defenders there, not including Malcolm Kuntz. So that's 5 edge defenders on the team, plus whoever else we would bring up. Now all we have is Chandler Jones, Max Crosby, and Malcolm Kuntz. We don't really have Cleveland Farrell because he's been hurt. He's been hurt for so long. I don't even know if he's been at practice. Someone let me know that in the comments if Cleveland Farrell has been at practice. Someone let me know because I don't – has he came back? I don't know. But let's see what everybody's saying in the comments, man. Shout out to everybody that's pulling up, yo. Mike Moore says, Jenkins was a Raider for 10 whole minutes. 10 whole minutes, bro. 10 whole minutes. Reminds me of Gerald McCoy from – wow, that's a very good point. That is a good point. Hopefully he doesn't get hit with PEDs or any type of drug test, though. It sucks, but if Bowers keeps playing well, then I'm good. That's a good point because we did touch on it earlier in this segment. And Gerard Burns as well says Deshaun Bowers. Deshaun Bowers might be the 4th raid. Okay. So it looks like we're going to have to start looking towards Bowers. I heard that Chief fans are a result of bad parents. What the hell? What's the deal on Diablo? Is he being held back because he's a bona fide starter, or is he injured still? I think with Devon Diablo is that he gets nicked up easily. Devon Diablo gets nicked up easy. If we've learned anything, he'll walk away with a wrist injury, a hand injury, little injuries like that keeps him out of the game, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens with Diablo. But right now we're talking about that edge spot, and it looks like Bowser is the next man up. Shout out to Kevin Lurker. And I think that's what it's going to be. Like we were saying earlier, he has the familiarity with this coaching staff, with this regime. He played with the Patriots, and he's been going out there doing decent. Now, I don't think he's been doing anything spectacular, but I think he's been a decent body, a decent depth guy that could go out there and definitely do something competent for this defensive line. Now, Bowers is the guy to go with. Come on, Maine. That's what he has to say. I mean, we'll see what happens. Kuntz is better, but he is not enough. We need depth. 100%, Michael B. And that's kind of where I'm headed. That's the direction I'm heading. I don't think we have a guy that's going to beat Malcolm Kuntz for that third rotation at the pass rush or the edge defender spot. But I do think we have a guy, or I don't think we have a guy to come in to also help facilitate more pass rushing. Bowers is the new Nassib. That's a very good point, Red Room. Now I'm curious. I'm going to love to see how Bowers progresses and just see how he transitions into this defense. It's going to be curious to see what happens. Yo, Ray, I think Abrams will get us 5 sacks next year. Let me fix that. 5 sacks out of Abrams. That's going to be interesting, man. Now, the way Patrick Graham has definitely been scheming up this defense, we might see Abrams go out there and do something different. He might do something wild, so it'll be interesting. One thing I don't think is being talked about enough, have you guys seen Abram get beaten coverage yet? You guys let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Was Jordan Jenkins injured when we picked him up? I don't think he was injured when we picked him up, man, because I don't think he would go out there and fake an ACL tear. Or at least I don't think he would run out there and do a bunch of stuff with his ACL torn. I don't think he would do that. But, I mean, he could be plotting. He could be scheming. He could have already been injured, went out there and, like, look, now I get a check for this year and I'm good. So, I don't know. Bauer can give guys a rest 100%. 100%, bro. McCoy was doing damage, though. He was McCoy. McCoy is McCoy. LaFayette says, what Mullens get trade for? A conditional seventh round pick, guys. Zarfe says Kendall Vickers. Now, Kendall Vickers is a name that comes up, seems like every single year, because he's either on the practice squad or he gets brought up to the 53-man roster. Now, Vickers, I think he'll continue to be in that kind of position to where he'll either be on the practice squad or he'll get drawn up if we need some depth. But another thing with Vickers is I think he'll be more of that defensive tackle, 3-4 defensive end. So we'll see how he kind of fits in this defense when the actual regular season comes around. Oh, so Tagovailoa Amosa, Justin Gandy brings up Tua Cousin looks solid too. And I believe his name is Tagovailoa Amosa, number 69, defensive end. And he did look decent. Him and Bowers were those guys out there that were looking like they were competing to be rotational pieces on this defensive line. We'll see what happens. Shout out to Joey for pulling up on us. He says, I still think we need to get Sue for that line. And I think we do as well. If we want to get us over that hump, I think we have to bring in Sue, dog. We have to bring in Sue. Now, we did get Nichols and Hankins back, and Hankins does go out there and make a play, guys. I know a lot of people were down on Hankins, disappointed that we kind of kept him and didn't think he would be a guy that would come in to produce. But I don't know why we're sleeping on Hankins so much to where we think he's not able to still stuff the run, especially after we watched our defensive line get gashed in the run game these past couple of weeks. So it's just interesting to hear that. Definitely interesting. Rocket Steady in the building. Shout out to you, man. He says, Abram might be the dark horse, man. Graham's defense's blitzes, his safety, and Abram was a beast when he blitzed. Gus sent him. And look, Abram, we know Abram could go down. Abram's fast. He's a speeding bullet. We've seen him smack the shit out of CMC, Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler. He's hit so many players just against the Dolphins. this past weekend. He goes out there and he damn near knocks the head off of one of the tight ends, creating a pass breakup just by a hit. I think we know what Abram is capable of doing. We just can't have him out there in the depths of coverage out there getting mossed anymore. I think that's 100% what we can't do. So shout out to you, Rock and Steady, for pulling up on us, man. Conditional, what conditions are put on the 7th rounder? And honestly, we don't know. We don't know. I think it's more about whether Mullens ends up playing. If Mullens ends up playing or making the team, maybe if Mullens makes the team, then he stays and we get a 7th rounder. Or maybe if he plays so much, we get a 7th rounder, or it gets bumped up to a 6th rounder if he plays more. So that's probably what it is. Usually that's what conditional picks are. If anybody wants to clarify or put anything down, let me know. Because I don't know everything. Look, shit, I'm not an NFL insider, but I believe that's how conditional picks work. It's just we just don't know the conditions yet. Curtis Bolton looked good. Now, this is a pretty cool name to bring up, man. Kevin Lurker says Bolton looked good. He said Down Under said that. I'm trying to find the original comment. Down Under said Curtis Bolton looked good. Shout out to Down Under for dropping that, because Curtis Bolton did make a play. Okay, here he is. Raiders Down Under says, just tuned in. What's your thoughts on Curtis Bolton, linebacker? And also, what do you think about our right tackle problem? Alex Leatherwood isn't the answer. He needs to be a guard like Alabama. So we did touch on Alex Leatherwood, the right tackle position already. But I do want to touch on the subject of Curtis Bolton. Now, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Curtis Bolton's profile so we can kind of get some measurements and an idea of his background, because I'm not familiar with Curtis Bolton. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm not a fibber. I'm not out here capping. Oh, hold up. I'm tripping. I know who Curtis Bolton is. What the hell? I know who Curtis Bolton is. We brought him in a while ago. Never mind. We looked over Curtis Bolton before. I'm tripping. I'm big tripping. But I'll bring it up anyways for you guys that are not familiar with him, because actually he didn't get a lot of burn early in the season, but he's been with us for a little time now. And just to get to it, shout out to Raider Down Under for dropping that down. But hold up real quick. Let me take this off the screen so we can see this. So this is Curtis Bolton. And honestly, one thing I did notice while he was out there is his speed. Now, if you guys notice anything different out of Curtis Bolton, let me know. But one thing I noticed was his speed. He was downhill. This dude was flying to the football. Curtis Bolton was flying to the football. And this is probably why he's 6 foot, 228 pounds. So for a linebacker, he is a little bit smaller. He is a little bit smaller as a linebacker. I believe this is the same size that Darius Butler is. So we'll see what happens in that competitive realm of the linebacker room, because we do have great linebackers that are competing like a mother effer, right? So we'll see what happens with that. Come on, man, says Hankins was stuffing the run 100, and this is why he's going to fit in this defense, guys. This is why we shouldn't have people writing off Hankins. We shouldn't have people writing off Hankins. Pay the man. Hank needs help. Yeah, and can you guys imagine if we had Jonathan Hankins and the Dominican Sue? Now, G-Town comes in and says he wants $9 million, though. Sue does. Now, if Sue wants $9 million, are you guys willing to pay that? Let me know down in the comments right now. Would you guys pay the Dominican Sue the $9 million to come in and play alongside with Hankins, rotate with Bilal Nichols, and maybe even Andrew Billings? That would be a hell of a interior defensive line, guys. Let's be honest. Think about this. You have Andrew Billings and Bilal Nichols out there in rotation with Jonathan Hankins and the Dominican Sue. I would love to see it. I would love to see that. I think that would be a killer interior defensive tackle room. Sue wants $9 million. That's a lot for an old man with limited snaps. I understand. I completely understand. That is true. That is true. He is a lot older. But think about it. Think about last year when we brought in Yannick Ngakoue. I don't remember how much we paid him. I think it was $13 million. And it's like we were kind of paying him per sack. And he didn't even play the run. I got to sneeze, y'all. I got to sneeze. But it's not happening. It's not going to happen. I guess it's not going to happen. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that interior defensive tackle room. If we were to have those 4 guys in rotation. Hankins was our whole run D last year. 100%, bro. Him and hold up. let's not say it out real quick, Anish, because Denzel Perryman makes his Pro Bowl, leads the team in tackles. Didn't he lead the league in tackles? So Denzel Perryman was a part of that run game too, 100%. Digital Press said, "Don't sleep on Big Hank." Yeah, big time Hank. You can't sleep on that brother, man. And shout out to Hankins, man, because look, if y'all don't know, Hankins is part of the Redemption family, man. Hankins is part of the group, man. He's part of the squad. He's putting on for Redemption brand. So shout out to Jonathan Hankins for being a part of the Redemption brand and being a part of the family, bro. Because we be in communication and he'd be really looking out for me. So shout out to Jonathan Hankins, bro. He's part of the squad, man. Let's get down to this super chat, though, man. My guy, Andre and Andrea. Love crossing. Shout out to you two. He says, shout out from Cali, Colombia. Off topic. Leatherwood is hot trash. Look, we did touch on this topic already, Andre. And Andre, Leatherwood is, I wouldn't say trash. Let's not get on this young man yet. Let's get Andre. Let's not get on Leatherwood too much, all right? He's still a young guy, still a young offensive lineman, but he is definitely not the starter. I definitely hear what you're saying. He is not the starter. He is not going to be out there week one because he's a turnstile. He was getting his ass whipped, and let's be honest, his confidence is shot. We did touch on this topic a little early, Andre. Shout out to you for that super chat. Appreciate you dropping that down, man. In the 2000 is Columbia, so I'm sure people are out there tripping like 20,000. No, I think it's because it's Columbia. Shout out to you for that super chat, man. Any donation is appreciated. It helps the channel grow. And also what helps the channel grow is if y'all hit that like button. If y'all hit that like button, we can get the algorithm cracking and go make a play and hit the subscribe button if you guys are new here. Appreciate everybody being with us. But let's get down to the comments, man. Let's see what everybody was talking about when it came to that interior defensive line. Now, some people are saying, hell no, give the bag to Tomlinson. Now, hold on. Is Tomlinson a free agent, William Merchant? Let me know. Is Tomlinson a free agent? Because didn't he sign with the Vikings for a contract last year? Signed a contract with the Vikings last year or somebody? Someone remind me. But if Tomlinson is a free agent, I'd be curious. Because he played with Patrick Graham, didn't he? Didn't Tomlinson play with Patrick Graham? Curtis Williams says, I would. Said, I would. That would be crazy. JC says, at this point, 100% yes. Yeah, I see that. I would pay 7.5 to 8 because in Vegas, that $9 million elsewhere because of no state tax. Raiders down under does make a good point. We could probably offer him something a little bit lower, but Ndamukong Suh, one thing I would say is that he seems like a bullshitter. I don't really like Ndamukong Suh as a person. And I know I don't know him, and some people will be like, what the hell are you talking about, Ray? But when you hear that he was supposed to come here back, a couple of years ago, and that he bails on the Raiders, that's one thing. He bailed on the Raiders already once. And he uses us as leverage, guys. Let's be honest. He uses us as freaking leverage. And the dude is not a stand-up character. He's already gone out there and stepped on people. He's already had his time in the NFL to where he's had his bad moments. And I know we're the Raiders, but at the same time, we're not the same Raiders, bro. This ain't the 80s. Like, we need guys that come in. They're going to be on Josh McDaniels' game plan and be able to set the tone. And I hope he would be able to do that, but I don't like his business aspect of using the Raiders as leverage because I believe that's what he does. He did it before, and I think that's what he's doing again. So I think he would be a great asset to this team, but at the same time, he's kind of wishy-washy. He's not a really stand-up guy. He seems like a bullshitter. But shout out to Honest, though. He says, Thibodeau got an MCL sprain out for 4 weeks. What? Wow. Are you serious? Ooh. That's a killer injury. That is true. Kayvon Thibodeau is down with the injury. I know this is not Raiders related, but it is a major injury to a huge draft pick in this NFL, in this year's NFL draft. It shows Kayvon Thibodeau. It looks like he got hit pretty nasty right here, man. That looks like I don't know if it's a dirty hit, but that looks like a bad hit on a young star, man. On a young star. That looks like a terrible hit from that offensive lineman. Looks like they were trying to go down, hit him with a chop block or Like it was a quick screenplay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Did you see this? What are you doing, dog? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you guys see this? That is a terrible freaking hit, man. How old is Kayvon Thibodeau? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's terrible, dog. What the hell was that guy thinking? The hell you thinking to hit somebody like that? That dude needs to get cut and he needs to be. I don't know. That was a terrible hit. What the F? 20,000. Oh, you didn't have to put another super chat just to tell me what it was, brother. I appreciate you putting the super chat, Andre. Shout out to you. You've been following us for a minute, man. I just appreciate you dropping that super. Thank you very much. Probably going to put it towards a new mic or try to figure out how to help with this reverb, but thank you, man. That's what I've been focusing on. Shout out to you for supporting the channel always, man. And shout out to you and Andrea as well. Appreciate you guys always pulling up. Just wanted to say West Side. Muazi in the building. Just wanted to say West Side. Shout out to you, man. EJ says, I thought I seen EJ say Thibodeau is going to be an injury-prone player, it looks like. I don't know, man. Maybe he could have been, but at the same time, bruh, that play was nasty. That play was nasty. I don't think that's like injury-prone kind of play. That looked like it was a play to where they just took that man's, I don't know. That was bad. Randy Moss' son that made that block. Yeah, Randy Moss need to whip his son ass because that is not bad. That is bad. That is really bad. He need to get fined for 100%. He need to get fined. Cheap block. That is terrible, dog. I feel bad for Kayvon Thibodeau because think about it. It's not like Kayvon Thibodeau was doing anything crazy. Someone literally took this man's freaking knee out from the side. How insane could you be to do something like that? My guy Seville says he got mossed. Hell yeah, bro. Well, in favor of Kayvon Thibodeau, I would say trying to look at this in a positive light. He's a first-round draft pick, a top 5 pick. So you know he's going to get his burn. You know they're going to give him his chances to come back and play, even with his injury. So he's going to get that in the aspect. And then, I mean, I know this is not a Raiders channel, but it's still a young man that we spread positivity on this channel. And it's a young man that got injured in a bad way. So hopefully Kayvon Thibodeau is able to recover and come back and be able to prosper in this league. In another light, he's a first-round draft pick, top 5. You know he's going to be getting millions of dollars no matter what the hell he's doing. So hopefully he's able to rehab and get that up. But shout out to Jesse Torres with the super. He said, good morning, Ray. Shout out to JT. He says, what do you think of Sam Webb? Shout out to Sam Webb, man. Now, I think I did. Okay. Now, shout out to Sam Webb. I see some people talking about it. Shout out to Raiders Football Talk. He says only out for a week, so that's good. 100%, bro. 100%. So you know he's going to get his burn. He's going to be able to come back. And I see people talking about Sam Webb, though. Let's get to it, dog. Let me know what you guys think about Sam Webb and what JT is asking here down in the comments. Do you guys think Sam Webb is a pivotal piece that could actually make this 53-man roster? Or do you think he may end up getting cut and be a practice squad guy? Now, when it comes to Sam Webb, I think he's going to get cut. I don't think he's going to make the team. He did make some plays out there this past week, but I don't think he makes the team. I know some people are going to be upset with me. And if y'all want to debate, let's go ahead and debate. I'm ready for this shit. All right. No, I'm playing with y'all. But no, I think Sam Webb is a decent player. But he's definitely not somebody that I think is going to make the 53-man roster. Now, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments. Also, if you guys think Raid is full of shit, put it down in the comments and tell me why you think I am and why Sam Webb will make the 53-man roster. Okay? Raid, would you trade for that DT on the Jets? Now, are you talking about Leonard? No, I'm tripping. DT on the Jets. You're talking about the defensive tackle that they picked up early. His name is Williams, and he's the brother, right? He's the brother defensive tackle. There's 2 brothers Williams. What's his name? I can't remember his name, man, but I know who you're talking about. I would definitely trade for him. Hell yeah, I would trade for him. Easy peasy. I would trade our first-round pick. I would trade next year's first-round pick for him. That's what I would do. Hands down, easy. No questions asked. No questions asked, dog. Buddha says, who are your 5 players getting cut this week? Yo, shout out to Buddha, but y'all going to have to wait for me to drop that video because I'm going to drop a video predicting the next 5 players to get cut, or I might just pull up and go live tomorrow or later this evening maybe. But I'm going to have to drop a video on that, man. You're going to have to wait on that one, brother. Shout out to Andre and Andrea. He says, new mic donation. Keep up the great work. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It goes a long way, man. Yes, you could probably hear the reverb. Some people, and it was funny because when I was live during the pregame show for the Dolphins, someone had came into the chat. I'm like, oh, dog, I can hear a little bit of echo. And you guys supported, y'all had my back, and y'all got on him. Y'all was like, shut the hell up, man. Ain't nobody worried about that echo. We trying to get the content out. Yo, I appreciate everybody that had my back, man. But look, I know there is a slight echo. For those that have been with me for some time now, you guys know that I just moved and I'm trying to fill this room up. I need to get some damn chairs in here too. So if that will help, and maybe get like one of them rubber mats under where I sit to kind of help with it. But I'll get it under control. Trust me, guys. I'll get under control, especially before the regular season starts. It's the preseason, baby. I'm trying to find my 53-man roster right now. All right. Give me a chance. All right. Shout out to EJ in the building. And Mike Morris, he says Webb was robbed, but he's playing well. Now I want to know. Okay, Shima says Webb didn't impress me. Interesting. And he says I think he's practice squad. Raider Poppy said I smell special teams. I don't think he'd be a special teams player because we have guys that do more that would be on the special teams than Webb does, in my opinion. And for example, like Tyron Johnson or Matt Collins, they could be they're special teams guys right there. So that's just in my opinion, right? Let me get down. Webb and Meek were getting burned on deep routes. I don't think Webb makes the roster. And this is a good point. And this is why, in my opinion, this is why I don't think Webb makes the team. I know he went out there and made a big play. Hear me out. I know he went out there and made a big play. He got that fumble. He hit the shit out that dude, and he should have had a touchdown. It would have been huge. But I want a corner that's going to be able to cover. I don't need a guy to come in here that can hit hard. I don't need that. I need a guy that's going to be able to cover. And if you watch Sam Webb in coverage, that whole Dolphins game, he was getting burnt. Let's be honest. I think there was 3 different plays to where he ended up getting burnt for probably 15 yards down the field. And it was like, and the same thing with Amik Robertson, guys. Same thing. Amik Robertson got burnt downfield on a third. It was like a 3rd and 4, and he gave up like a 25-yard pass. And he goes and he's like, "Oh, that's my bad." Hell yeah, it's your bad. You're trying to make the freaking roster, guy. How do you let that go? So I don't know if Webb is going to be a guy on this 53-man roster. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like him, and he's a favorite. Don't start hating on me because I don't agree with you. Just debate with me. That's all you got to do. Healthy debates over here. Quentin Booker says if Webb don't make the 53, he will be on the practice squad. And I agree 100%. Maybe on the practice squad over a year and he gets called up. He could work on some fundamentals, working on his technique ultimately on the downfield because he was getting burnt. And that's just my opinion. Now, the nation says I'm ready for this. He says I'm ready for this, man. Look, I'm always ready, man. I'm always ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Berserk says I like Webb over Amik. To be honest, he's showing more potential than Amik, but at the end, I don't know who stays. Now, if we had to choose, Webb is staying over Amik. I mean, let's be honest. Webb is staying over Amik if we had to choose. That's an easy peasy, Berserk. I agree with you there. I 100% agree with you there. EJ Raider says practice squad, and with all the one-year contracts, we'll get a better opportunity next year. Exactly. Now, what I believe, though, is after this season, we're going to have a solid cornerback. We're either going to, 1, have a solid cornerback room, or 2, we're going to be in trouble next year when it comes to the quarterback room. Because, like EJ saying, a lot of these guys are on one-year deals. So unless we go out there and re-sign Mullen because he shows that we should re-sign him, and the same thing with Rocky Sin, these guys are on their last year of their contracts. It's not like Anthony Averett and Darius Phillips there where they came in on a one-year contract. No, we traded for Rocky Sin. He's still on his contract that only has this season left. So if we don't re-sign Rocky Sin, we basically traded Yannick Ngakoue for 1 year of Rocket Sin. And then Trayvon Mullen is somebody on his last year of his deal, which I'm a big fan of Trayvon Mullen. This might be because he's been a Raider and I've watched him a lot, but I'm a fan of Trayvon Mullen, so it'll be interesting. Mo Dizzle says Isaiah Wynn on the trade block, 916 set. Hold on. Isaiah Wynn is on the trade block and we haven't gone out there to try to snatch him up? Isaiah Wynn is on the trade block. Let me verify this shit. If we don't trade for Isaiah Wynn like yesterday, then I don't know what the hell we're doing. What in the world? We need to go trade for Isaiah Wynn. Shout out to Mo Dizzle for dropping this. Another member of the channel dropping some fire. If Isaiah Wynn is on the trade block, guys, we have no excuse whatsoever to go out and pick up a guy like this, okay? We have no excuse whatsoever. 45 minutes ago, according to MassLive.com, I don't know how legit they are, but apparently this is well known. Nick O'Malley says NFL trade rumors. Patriots discussing offensive tackle Isaiah Wynn with other teams, report says. The New England Patriots could be in store for a major change as training camp winds down this season and preseason NFL trade rumors pick up. Okay, according to Sports Illustrated, Albert Breer, he's pretty credible. The Patriots have discussed trading offensive lineman Isaiah Wynn with teams. Very interesting. Okay, so here we got it. The one guy I know definitively that they've talked with other teams is Isaiah Wynn, their first-round pick. Wynn, though, is on a $10.4 million fifth-year option, which has made tough to move a guy who 4 years after he was drafted is still seen as a tackle guard tweener. Okay, interesting. So he's owed $10 million. I don't know at that point. I think that's what's the struggle is trading for him, being owed $10 million. Now, let me get to this super chat, man. I know I'm a little bit behind on the G-Town. Didn't mean to, but I see you have the Darth Raider in your profile pic. Shout out to you. He says, what games are you planning to attend this year? Good question, man. Everybody in the comments, drop down in the comments. What games are you guys going to this season? Because it's about to start in 2 weeks. About 2 weeks the regular season starts. Now, personally, I would love to go to that home opener, or not home opener. I would love to go to that LA game, to where we play the Chargers. I mean, was I wrong? Isn't it a home opener? I mean, we could damn near say that. But y'all get my drift. I would love to go to that Chargers game because I think it's going to be crazy. Let's be real, man. I think it's going to be crazy. It's at 1 o'clock on the West Coast in LA, so the weather is going to be fantastic. The sun should be beaming. It should be a beautiful day. And the game would end around 5 o'clock, and you're going to have plenty of time to party and celebrate the win over the Chargers. So I would love to go to LA and whip the Chargers' ass and party afterwards, dog. And that would be fun. Now, the game I really would love to go to also is the New Year's game against the 49ers, guys. Now, the only thing about this one is we don't know if the 49ers are going to be good. I know we like to talk our trash about the 49ers, but, dude, if the 49ers go out there and they bomb it with Trey Lance and they're just not that good and they end up being like a 4-7 kind of team, I probably won't even care to go to that game. I don't want to go watch a losers, some game of a losing team against us. I don't really want to watch that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and how the season folds out. But I definitely want to go to that Chargers game the first week and that 49ers game. That would be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun. And don't we play a game on Christmas? I think there was another game. There was another big game that I wanted to go to. It might have been Christmas, but I'm not 100% sure. But shout out to you, man. We got another super chat by Sip2 Tally Film. Shout out to you, man. A little late on his super chat, but I got you, brother. He says, appreciate the help with the DeMarcus Robinson question. What's the question, Sip2 Tally? Let me see if I can find it. If you put the question down. Ship2 Tally, put your question down. I'll answer it. Sorry, I took a little bit of time to get to it. I was behind in the chats. But shout out to Raider Ray, man. If you guys don't follow Raider Ray, make sure to go pull up over there. I was live with the brother. He invited me on his channel, and I appreciate it. Very much obliged. And one day I'm going to have you up here, brother. You definitely got to pull up. Let me know how your schedule is. And maybe one day you could pull up on Good Morning Nation and help me out with the segment, dog, and give some people enlighten some people on your knowledge, because he's a very smart person, has some common sense, and has his own opinion. And what I noticed with Red Race, he has a strong opinion, and he doesn't present it as strong, but I could tell he is firm on his opinion. So that's why I like this guy. He's someone that I feel like could definitely could push me on my own takes and on my own knowledge. So we have to have a guy like Red Ray in this atmosphere that's going to bring that logic, and he's going to bring healthy debates as well. So shout out to Red Ray, man. Let me get down and catch up to some of these comments, though, guys, because I don't want to get too far behind. But Two Tally, man. Two Tally Films. I seen you had a question. I really wanted to get to it, especially because you dropped a super chat. If you can, go ahead and drop that. Go ahead and drop that question that you had, brother. Go ahead and drop it. Ritter Casper in the building, though. He says, we already have a dude that can hit hard and knock. That's kind of what I was saying. That was kind of my point, Ritter Casper, is that we already have a dude that can hit hard but and not cover. So that's actually pretty funny, man. That's interesting. And I know who you're talking about. Let's not drop no names. Alan D says, will Hobbs, Mullen, or Yasin be our CB1? Now, this is a good question in a sense, because I know there's some people out there that really like Nate Hobbs. And I don't think Nate Hobbs will be our number one outside corner. I honestly don't. I think Mullen and Yasin will be our outside corners. And right now, I think it's Rocky Sin taking that CB1 role. But at the same time, if Mullen comes in healthy, I could see Mullen being pushed by Rocky Sin to become a better cornerback and really excelling and trying to take that spot, because Mullen hasn't really had a lot of competition. Let's think about it. Casey Hayward came in last year, and that was probably our best. Casey Hayward and Trayvon Mullen was probably our best duo in years at the cornerback spot. Let's be honest. I know we had Nandi Asamoah years ago, and who did he match up with? Was it Stafford? Was it Stanford Route that was with the Nandi Asamoah? I can't remember that far back. But my point is that this cornerback duo, whether it's Mullen Yasin, Mullen Hobbs or Yasin, is going to be one of the better cornerback duos that we've had in a long time. And considering Trayvon America is in his second season, he should be moving faster. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a great season for this backfield, man. Rock and steady. That's why I like Cosby. That boy got some PBUs. He's covering peeps. And I agree, Rock and steady. I'm a Bryce Cosby guy. I like Bryce Cosby. He did give up a touchdown last week up against the Vikings. He did give up a touchdown against the Vikings, but it was kind of a cheap pick play. I have yet to really go back and watch it, but from what I understand, it was kind of a cheap pick play that he got picked up on. It wasn't anything crazy like man coverage. He got killed in man coverage or got beat in a zone. So I want to see more of Bryce Cosby, most definitely. SVT says, do we take the Ferrari out for a spin on Friday? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I'm getting a little bit behind here in the chat, so I'm going to catch up, y'all. Almost 10 o'clock. It is almost 10 o'clock, so I'm going to catch up here. Alex Otherwood has asked Raider Ray says, a different Raider Ray. Xmas Eve at Pittsburgh. Okay, that was another big game. I don't think I would be doing that. I ain't going to no damn Pittsburgh for no damn Christmas. No Christmas. I ain't going to Pittsburgh for no Christmas. Do you think Mullen is 100%, Ray? I would say he is. I think Mullen is 100%. The fact that he's back, I don't think he would rush himself back, especially because, I mean, he's getting paid. I don't think we're going to cut him at all. I don't think he's at risk of losing his job either. So I think he's fine. I think he should be 100%. I would love to see him this Friday, though. I'll tell you that much. We've seen Anthony Everett out there this Friday. We've seen Rocky Sin out there this Friday. Let's see if we can get a little bit of Mullens. Let's see. Let's see if we can get some of that. NorCal Jesse. Okay, Jeff Henders was saying it's at Pittsburgh. Shout out to Jeff Henders. Appreciate that. Dropping that. Help support the channel. Check out the merch at redemptionbrand.com. Yes, I appreciate you, brother. We got over 300 people in the chat, man. And I want to go ahead and give a couple of shout outs to everybody, all the members that have pulled up today. I see Eminem in here. Jesse was in here. Jesse is in here. Mo Dizzle was with us. He says, with the trade, it can be worked that Pats pay some of it. That is true. It is true. But going ahead to finish this live off, guys, I want to jump into the practice this week. The Raiders are practicing against the Patriots this week, and I'm going to be curious to see what is going to be going on. Will we see some fights? Will we see some tussling? Because McDaniels and Bill Belichick, we don't even have to go down that road. But do you think that we'll keep these guys disciplined, or do you think they'll let them kind of get chippy out there? Because for those who don't know, the Raiders and the Patriots do have a joint practice this week, and that's why this week is going to be so much different. This week is going to be different because in the past couple of weeks, we haven't practiced with anybody. And usually we practice with the Rams. So when we were with Gruden, we would go out to L.A., practice with them. When we were with Oakland or in Oakland, the Rams would go down to – where would we practice at? They would go down to the Bay Area and practice with us as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the joint practice. Now, Matthew Martin says joint practice start tomorrow. I believe so. Because we don't practice on Mondays. I believe practice starts on Tuesdays. I believe practice starts on Tuesdays, and that's when joint practices will start. But bear with me. Let me see if I can find a little bit more information on this joint practice, just so we could take a deeper dive into this joint practice. Now, I'm sure plenty will pop up. Let me see. What is this? Let's see. So we do have something with Bill Belichick. I'm going to bring up this clip. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Let's dive into some information on this joint practice real quick with the Patriots. Bear with me. I will get back to the comments. But let's see what we got out here. Some media. Bill Belichick has a few words about the Raiders, apparently. Let's see what we got in store. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Magnificent. And a lot of good facilities. It's some amazing college facilities, but this is when you forget about the amenities of just the fields, the weight room, the offices, the indoor facility, the proximity, the ease of everything. This is
Bill Belichick talk low as hell, man.
Not as good as anything else. So it's outstanding. It's great for us to be able to work here. It's ideal working conditions. So we'll walk right in off the field, lift, get refueled and hydrate. And, they've got stations right there in the weight room. It's set up good. We're only a mile away, whatever it is.
So that's pretty much it. So that's all you had to say. I guess apparently he just wanted to give us compliments on our facility, and shout out to him. Not bad. Several says translate dog. The originator of the mumble rap monotone. I mean, that's Bill Belichick for you guys. But basically what he was saying is that the facility is great. He loves the facility. Ideal working conditions. That's pretty much all he had to say. But let's see if we can get to the latest, guys. Patriots engaged in trade discussions involving Isaiah Wynn. And look, the Raiders are going into joint practice with them, so hopefully we can get a trade and he don't have to go back to New England. You can just stay his ass right there in Las Vegas. But let me scroll down because I thought I seen – okay, here we go. So it said Patriots head coach Bill Belichick said the Raiders' training facility is better than anything I've ever seen. It's astounding. It's outstanding. The Patriots and Raiders will take the field for joint practice beginning tomorrow. So tomorrow will be the beginning of joint practice, guys. We get our question answered. So tomorrow we might get a lot of news coming out of camp, and it should be interesting. It should be interesting. A lot of fun. Let's see. This guy oozes with personality. Zebras. I mean, he does, man. He must be pulling all the ladies, man. He pulling all the ladies with that smooth talk. NVD Money says we need some cornerbacks who can make plays and create turnovers, not just cover. I'm just saying I don't want DBs with PBU and no picks or forced fumbles. We haven't had a ball hawk since C. Wood, number 24. 100% true, man. Now, it's interesting you say that because I feel like we need to go out there and give these DBs a chance. We need to give this new DB room a chance. Last year, we were out there with Brandon Faison, right? Desmond Trufant. That's not going to happen. That's not formidable. Now, when you look at the depth chart, we have Mullens is potentially our number 3 corner, number 4 corner, guys. That is crazy depth. So I'm not too worried. I'm not sure why we're too worried or concerned with the CB room, because just look at it. Rocketson and Anthony Avery, Nate Hobbs and Trayvon Mullen. Would you guys be mad if we went out there and Nate Hobbs and Rocketson were our starting corners? I don't think many people would be mad at that. I don't think people would be mad at that. Raider Ray says CBs are sus. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about. Let me know that in the comments what you guys think about the CB room. This is an interesting topic. Some people are saying they're suspicious of the cornerback room. Some saying they aren't. Anish says Faison made some plays though, but yeah, he definitely made plays. I'm not taking anything from Brandon Faison. I'm not. Let me hydrate real quick. Be sitting here so long, be forgetting to hydrate. Faison definitely made some plays, guys. But I don't think last year's cornerback room was as good as this year's cornerback room. It's just not. It's just not, in my opinion. It's just not. Merrick is about to be a hawk this year. I hope so, bro. He has to take that next step, right? He has to make that next step in his second year. High expectations for Trayvon Merrick. We need to get some interceptions. I think a major thing last year is we dropped a lot of interceptions. I don't know what it is, but we dropped a lot of interceptions, man. Cali Loyalty in the building says, shout out to Ray, the Tabies, and I'm late to the party. Always fashionably late, Cali is. But it's all good, brother. I'm glad you're here. Mike Moore says, I really like our CB and wide receiver room, and so do I. I think we have great depth at both rooms. I think we have great depth at both positions. Now, this is the questions I've been looking for, and this is kind of what I want to ask you guys in the chat. Let me know down in the chat, what are you guys looking to see in the Pats joint practices, okay? What are you guys looking to see? Now, my number one thing that I'm looking to see is where the hell is Darren Waller? I know some people may be surprised by this, by me saying this, and this is just me saying, look, Darren Waller has been out. Last I heard, he showed up at practice last week on Tuesday and then hasn't shown back up. Will he be back? And I would be surprised to see if Darren Waller is out there in joint practices against the Patriots. I don't think he will. And if he's not out there at joint practices against the Patriots, in my opinion, he is holding out. And we're allowing him to hold out. And we're writing it off as an injury. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about the Waller situation. I don't know why he gets special treatment or he's looked at any differently, but at the same time, I don't know if it's special treatment because we haven't seen a lot of the players. Because Anthony Avery just showed up to his first preseason game with Rocketson as a duo. So we'll see what happens, man, but I think it's BS. I think the Waller injury is BS. I think we're just holding him out so he doesn't get hurt. And also we're trying to get a contract done. So we'll be keeping an eye on Darren Waller, man. The Raider room says this cornerback room is being slept on. I believe so as well. Cornerbacks are good for rock and steady too. Okay. Anish says, I think the CB room is good, but I don't know if we have a true number one. Now, we've had this question for a long time. We don't have a true number one. I don't think so. White Tyson in the building. Shout out to White Tyson. What's good with you, man? Glad to see you out here. It was really good to see Abram at the nickel corner. We might have Merrick, Harmon, and Abram all on the field at the same time. It's 100% a possibility, and I could really see that happening. We've seen 3 safeties last year, and it's just kind of a norm in the league now to have those safeties, guys. I think it really is. But I think this is where we're going to end the show, guys. We're at 20 minutes over an hour, and usually we go an hour, but I think we're having a lot of fun with this one, and we touched a lot of topics, yo. We talked about the defensive line with Jordan Jenkins. I'm going down with an injury. We touched on the topic of the right tackle position, even brought in a little trade talk with Isaiah Wynn. I think we're going to roll forward with Illuminor being our right tackle. We even talked about the cornerback rooms as well. and how that was going to look moving on and who could be the potential starters there. So we talked about a lot in this Good Morning Nation segment. If you guys can, hit that like button before you dip. I would highly appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram and Ready to Tape and Twitter. Check out Redemption Brand if you want to check out any hats, any tees, and represent the brand, represent the nation, and go hard for us. But I'm going to give a couple shout outs as we head out on this interlude, man. Shout out to Jeff Henry. He says, now without a new contract, and I assume you're talking about Darren Waller, so I agree with that. Mo Dizzle, man, he says 40 games without a defensive or special teams touchdown. Got to help the offense out a bit. Holy shit. Mo Dizzle, thank you for dropping that knowledge. I'm going to use that in some debates because that is a hell of a stat to keep in mind. Nation says pay the man, and I agree. My number one thing for the joint practice is McDaniels getting Belichick to admit it was a fumble. Hey, I don't know if that'll happen, but shout out to everybody in the chat that did pull up, man. Civil was in the building. Was good with you. Alex was in the building. Raider Room was out here with us. Hadamaki was out here with us. Shout out to Hadamaki. Let us see you pull up, brother. Raider Casper, Kevin Lurker, Alan D. Raider Red Lizette was with us. Shout out to you for pulling up. Appreciate you being a part of our team and being here this morning, getting some Raiders talking. Shima was in the building as well. Snoop Hernandez, Raider Key. Shout out to everybody that pulled up, man. Appreciate everybody that was with us this morning. We had a hell of a show, great show. Welcome to another Good Morning Nation. I appreciate y'all being here. And until next time, y'all.